Happy New Year, everybody. This is actually going to be my first 2022 video blog. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm still in Europe finishing off on my um, book promo campaign that I started late last year. Basically, I started promoting in social media with trust, which is uh, the combination of things that people started sharing on their social media platform during the pandemic, as well as how public service announcements were basically transmitted via social media platform and other news organization utilizing the social media platform to educate the population regarding the pandemic. Predominantly of the world basically shifted using their social media platform to receive news and updates. Regardless if there were some fake news that was also transmitted on their Facebook page or social media platform, but for the most part, the world and the population of this planet is fast gravitating towards social media. So that's the title of this book. It's called In Social Media We Trust. Obviously, you shouldn't trust everything that you see on social media until you verify, check, and make sure that it's credible. But my book project started off early 2020, actually. It's when I started drafting the book and just kind of pay attention to what was going on. It was perfect timing to utilize the things that are happening on social media, because it's never happened ever in the history of mankind where people are simultaneously sharing information on social media and interacting on social media when there's an ongoing pandemic. Never in human history is a pandemic and the population that is actually dealing with the pandemic was able to chronicle and share their ideas, views, comments, suggestions, whatever it is. They, ended up having to utilize the social media platform to record what was going on this planet because of the pandemic. So that's pretty neat, huh? It's never been done before. It's a new world, new normal is, I guess, what most people would call it. It's the new normal in the new world marketplace, where people are able to chronicle and record things that are happening simultaneously via their social media platform. So check this out. It's it might provoke your thought of hopefully some of the contents would be an eye opener to those people that have never really grown up in the social media world. There's a lot of generations before us that have never had the opportunity to participate in such a social global environment where people are exchanging ideas, minds, and the meeting of the minds is what I call them. When you get on your social media platform, it's you're meeting with people and you exchange ideas and learn from each other, and cultivate your you know mindset and develop your mindset and worldview because of the exposure that you gain through social media. Like I was saying, I'm currently here in Europe, and most people, back home in the States, have never been to this part of the world, so they're able to see what Europe looks like via social media. And this is basically happening all over the world. People are being exposed to things that they've never had the access to or didn't even know about. So that's that. And the second book is about my campaign during a pandemic. As you all know, I run as an independent candidate in the U.S. Senate in 2020. Granted, it was my very first, go at it. I've never really thought that a pandemic was going to engulf the whole world, when me, a nobody, no name politician, or I wouldn't even call myself a politician. I'm more of a person that wants to evaluate things and see if there's a way for us to improve. So I wouldn't call myself a politician. Maybe I would um, label myself as someone that is an active learner, and I believe public service people should be an active learner. With that said, so this is called Face Economics: A World Reset. It's available. Both books are actually available on Amazon now, so check them out. And let us know what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed reading the book, if it provoked you in any way, shape, or form, let us know. All of this is pretty much an evolution of the marketplace. We're chronicling things that could most likely be improved down the road in 10 years, 20 years from now. Maybe these books will be improved, and people will say, oh, well, that's a new concept. It's something that we would want to kind of utilize as a template. So maybe some of my books will become a template for people to utilize in their own marketplace, in their domestic market, in their home countries. So maybe that'll turn out to be a benefit and become a value to people around the world. So I'm hoping that you help us share the word. I'm not a well-known author. I just happen to enjoy learning, and I enjoy sharing some of my thoughts with the public, and kind of provoke them to think outside the box, or to maybe make their box bigger. Maybe would be a better way to put it. But my name again is Al Mina. For those that are just watching this video for the first time, just never heard of me, I'm the concept author of Face Economics: The Utilization of the Social Media Platform in Economic Development. So going back to my book, this is new rendition of the way I write, just because this is more personal. This is my own experience running as a former U.S. Senate candidate, or U.S. Senate independent candidate in the 2020 election. I wasn't given the opportunity to compete. I really didn't get the chance to debate. Both of my competitions were well known and heavily funded, and I guess they have quite a bit of a network within their parties to help them advance, or even promote their names and ideas and overall objectives. Unfortunately, I didn't have any of those. I'm a no-name candidate without any money, without not a whole lot of support. So I guess that constitutes that I shouldn't be a part of a debate or be able to compete. I guess to some people within the election school of thought, maybe that's how they see things. Maybe they're still thinking as if we're still in the 19 or even 1848 when the parties were created. Anyway, my name is Al Mina. Thank you for joining me. Please check out my books. There's several books that I've already published prior to publishing these two, but this last two books actually pertain to the fourth industrial revolution, the utilization of the social media environment during a pandemic, during election season in America, and then how things are evolving. The world didn't reset during the Y2K event that took place, back, I guess, 22 years ago. You can even go back that far and remember what happened before the Y2K event took place. Everybody said that things are gonna basically reset, and life as we know it will cease to continue, and all sorts of things. But that wasn't the time. 2020 was the time the world was reset, just because of how technology evolved and simultaneously participated in this perfect storm that we call the pandemic. So the pandemic basically created and opened up opportunities in various markets to either expose their flaws or improve their flaws, create core competencies that they never thought that they'll be able to create, just because of the necessity to be able to advance and continue to develop their markets and operate as a country. Each societies throughout the world had to find a way to evolve using technology when there's a pandemic, a global pandemic going on. So some countries you have use apps on their smartphones to check vaccine records. Some use their smart. Some countries and health officials have elected to monitor the owner of a smartphone that had been infected by the coronavirus. So who would have thought that humanity would evolve in such a way that we're using technology as if it's air, as if it's water, as if it's shelter. We're using technology to house us as human beings, if I can describe it that way. Technology is housing our shell of existence in this new normal, in this new world market. Forget about what took place in the years 1900, 1990s, and back then, or even 15 years ago. Forget about all of that, because what's up ahead is significantly going to be much better, much easier for people to live, and we get to enjoy our lives finally. In the past, yes, there's been people that have elected to do telework, for example, working from home or working from a remote location. In the past, people would look down on people that were working from home. Today, just because of the pandemic, that actually extenuated the whole work from home environment, logic. And everybody is pretty much granted, if they want to and have the opportunity to work from home if they so elected. So that's a great incentive for people to balance work and life simultaneously because of the pandemic. It exposed so much flaws in the old way of thinking, old school of thinking, old mentalities, all old, basically opinions, ideas, systems, everything that was pretty archaic operational wise in business, in management, in health, in politics, policy making, was exposed by this pandemic. Maybe we ought to start thinking about what we should do from here on out, because the world was reset. You guys might not want to accept that the world is new and the world have reset itself without any permission from anyone. The world did not ask for permission for anyone to change their systems, to change their mentalities, to change their overall objective and how they would like to proceed with their lives. Unfortunately, in the past, there's this cookie cutter thing. Everybody should have this, and this lined up. Make sure your ducks are all in a row, just so that you would be happy. But that's not the case. It's never been, and it will never. It wasn't before. It wasn't. It's never today, and it will never be the case for people. Life is supposed to be interesting for people. It's not a cookie cutter system where you're basically lining up things and making sure that things will work out as you plan, because life doesn't work as the way that you want and hope for it to be. It works in mysterious ways. It just basically happens, and you learn to adapt to it, and you find a way to advance on your own. With that said, my name is Al Mina. I'm the concept author of the Face Economic Concept, which is the utilization of the social media environment in economic development. As I was talking previously, the markets have changed because of social media, because of the do-it-yourself lessons learning available on your social media platform, lessons learned, lessons that will become lessons, markets, and how new industries and new ideas and new concepts that were previously thought of as kind of loony or asinine, or it'll never happen because it doesn't make sense to people, now everything's taking place the way it just kind of meant to be. It evolved and transitioned from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth industrial revolution is taking place, and the markets and the world will continue to evolve, and that's just the reality of things. People evolve, societies evolve. Our way of adapting and our ability to adapt evolves. So, yeah, please tell your friends about our concept. It's called Face Economics. But also make sure to look us up on Amazon. Check these books out. They're not perfect, by any stretch of the imagination. They're not perfect. I would say, as the author, they're not perfect. But I believe that I've started to plant the seeds for people in other societies. Maybe even if after I'm no longer on this planet, maybe some people would gain some ideas off of the books that I wrote, and use that to improve their environment, improve their communities, improve their countries, their life, and how they interact with people that don't think, look, and act like them, or even think like them, or whatever, speak the same language as they do. So thank you so much for watching. I hope I kind of managed to provoke your thought. I'm not the type of person that just basically say, everything ought to be the way it ought to be. I'm the type of person that likes to, kind of evaluate things and see if there's a way for us to provide a solution or improve a condition, and continue to, advance and make things better. We're not robots. Obviously, there's already robots operating in various countries, even in the service industries. There are already robots out there, but I think as humans, as people with, a God-given ability to think, then I believe we ought to utilize our senses, our creativity, and a way to expand our school of thought, the higher learning of oneself. I think that's very important, especially now. Wealth is not going to be defined by material things any longer, because people will get access to material things fairly easily in this part of humanity. The evolution of the marketplace and the resetting of the world will open up the floodgates for people to gain access to material things. So the new wealth is going to be depicted via our ability to gain knowledge and deploy what we've learned, and make that a gold standard, where people are able to benefit from knowledge, because knowledge is an intangible good. You can steal your people can steal your car, people can steal stuff from you, material things, but they'll never be able to steal your knowledge unless you share that knowledge with them. So make sure that you gain knowledge, and increase your capacity as an individual, and share that capacity to help those that are trying to also increase their capacity. That's what we're here for. That's what humans ought to be and should be about, and be able to learn and adapt and influence other people. So that's how the world have been evolving in the last many centuries, but unfortunately they didn't have the tools that we now have, which is the social media environment. So our reach and our scope, as well as our magnitude, our sphere of influence, were basically supersized by the social media environment, by technology. So yes, there's going to be downfall, there's going to be problems that will arise, and there's going to be people that are not going to be happy with the snooping around on our social media platform. There's a lot of snoopers, and there's a lot of, invincible spies and all these things that are happening behind closed door or on the back end of this World Wide Web or internet. But at the end of the day, you as an individual will be the subject matter expert of your life. Okay, you ought to be the author of what you do and what you excel in and what you want for your life. Yes, there's going to be invincible haters. There's going to be invincible um, eyes that are going to be monitoring you, but that's because they don't have anything for themselves. They're basically haters because they don't have what you have. And so be the author of your life. Take charge of your life, and expand your horizons. Again, my name is Al Mina. I'm the Face Economics concept author, which is the utilization of social media. Thank you for joining me. The more haters you acquire, the more influential you become. And so don't overly, overexert yourself by worrying about those haters. Um, think about it as them trying to find flaws in you because they don't want to have to deal with themselves. So, with that said, thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful, great, productive, meaningful, and loving 2022. Take care. Bye bye.